Growing up in today's changing society isn't always pleasant. Consider how difficult it would be to navigate the road to adulthood without correct information and dependable capabilities. Do myths end up being misconstrued for reality? Do peers, television, and the internet serve as dependable sources of information and resources? Fortunately, comprehensive sexuality education or sex education can make this journey for young people all around the world easier, more certain, and healthier. Every teenager should have sex education incorporated into their schooling. It shouldn't be opt-in or opt-out but mandatory. It's been shown to help students, not hurt. Not only is having access to sex education that is not only comprehensive but medically accurate as a human right. It is our fundamental duty as a society to educate the next generation. Sex education is important. It has been proven time and time again. Students who receive formal sex education in schools are shown to first have sexual intercourse later than students who have not had sex education. Sex education does not encourage teenagers to have sex. It does quite the opposite.
Recognizing sexual rights, sexuality education and counseling, and confidential high-quality services are the three components of sexual health, not just for teenagers, but for everyone. I am Johoney Combestra, the leader of Group 4 researchers in Grade 12 STEM 7A-DYNAMISM. Now let me introduce to you my group members. First is we have Mr. Cañete, Mr. Keith Genson, Ms. Princess Chelo Llena, Ms. Christel Oflas, Mr. Mark Joshua Pasiolan, Mr. J. Louie Tayactac, and lastly is Ms. Krisha Teves. In this video montage, we aim to influence young individuals about the importance of sex education, how it impacts their well-being and dignity, how it contributes to reproductive health, how it improves social and sexual interaction, and lastly, how it prevents sexually transmitted diseases.
Sex education is all about disseminating information about physical development, sex, sexuality, and relationships, as well as developing skills to help young people communicate about sex and make informed decisions about their sexual well-being. It is intended to teach us about human physiology, the reproductive system, and STD prevention. Sex education is very significant not just for sex development and affection. This also helps in the prevention of transmitting chronic diseases about sex. Failure to address pleasure could lead to sexual coercion. A sex education may be one of the few places where young people learn that sex should be enjoyable rather than manipulative and damaging. Cantor and Lindbergh in 2020 expressed sex education is important for adolescents development because it provides them with comprehensive understanding of sexuality. It is also crucial for young people to understand their sexuality and be able to better sex decisions in life. According to Healthy Teen Network in 2010, comprehensive sex education equips adolescents with knowledge, attitude, and skills needed to make informed decisions about their sexual health.
How does sex education impact every individual's well-being and dignity? According to the Harvard Medical School in 2020, sex education aids in the development of individuals' identities, healthy self-esteem and body confidence, all of which influence one's sense of self, reducing the risk of bullying or being bullied. For all teenagers, including those with disabilities, chronic health issues, or other special needs. It addresses healthy sexual development, gender identity, interpersonal interaction, affection, sexual development, intimacy, and body image. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics in 2016 and Martino and others in 2008, this sex education research helps young learners to learn more about the topic, which is vital to them, especially for young people. It also aims to raise student awareness and provide them with the knowledge and skills they need to avoid sexual activity, promote moral, and engage in mutually respectful relationships.
Aside from all of that, sex education has a big contribution in every human being's reproductive health. One of my members will be explaining to you how sex education helps improve reproductive health of an individual.
According to Collins in 2008, sexuality education includes information on family planning, reproduction, body image, sexual orientation, sexual pleasure, values, decision-making, communication, dating, relationships, sexually transmitted infections and how to prevent it, as well as birth control methods. Sex education is a broad term that covers a wide range of topics. It entails more than simply instructing children and teenagers on the anatomy, biology, and sociology of sex. Individuals who receive sex education gain knowledge on how sexual health works. According to UNESCO in 2018, too many young people are bombarded with misleading and contradictory information about relationships and sex. As a result, young people are now increasingly interested on reliable information that will prepare them for a secure, productive, and fulfilling life. This is an essential study that everyone should take seriously because it impacts a person's mental, physical, and social health.
So, sex education also improves social and sexual interactions. Proper sex education will provide everyone, mainly teenagers and children, a healthy attitude towards sex and sexuality. A 9-year-old became the youngest mother in Central Visayas or VSMMC in 2015 after giving birth at the Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center in Cebu. Also, according to the Regional Population Committee or PAPCOM 7, who authorized her pregnancy in 2014, a 12-year-old girl from Bugo City gave birth. Swartz, Brewer, and Zanelman in 2010 stated that the acquisition of information and the construction of attitudes, beliefs, and values about consent, sexual orientation, gender identity, relationships, and intimacy are critical developmental milestones for all children and adolescents. According to Singh and others, in 2005, young people's need for sex education is demonstrated by their usually early initiation of sexual activity, the often involuntary context in which they have sexual intercourse, high-risk sexual behaviors, and the lack of knowledge of ways to protect their sexual health.
According to Padayag in 2015, the rise in early pregnancy rates in Cebu, according to PAPCOM 7, Director Bruce Ragas, is concerning. Ragas also said that with this rate, they are assisting the Department of Education in introducing sex education in schools. Given the socio-economic ramifications of early childbirth, unplanned pregnancy, and AIDS transmission, there is a pressing need to learn more about how teenagers make sexual and reproductive choices. Children and adolescents receive sexual health information messages from the media, religious groups, schools, family peers, parents or caregivers, and partners at various times during the day. Albeit the quality of the information varies according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in 2015. However, Cantor and Levitt in 2017 stated that it is crucial to emphasize that strong levels of support for sex education have been measured against traditional results in schools across the country, among parents and non-parents, and among people of both political parties. Sample are those related to pregnancy and STD prevention.
Sexual health encompasses sexual development and reproductive health, as well as the ability to develop and maintain meaningful interpersonal relationships, appreciate one's own body, interact with both genders in respectful and appropriate ways, express affection, love, and intimacy in ways consistent with one's own values. Sex education gives young people the knowledge and skills they need for a lifetime of good sexual health. They learn how to have healthy relationships, make informed decisions about sex, think critically about the world, be a good ally to those who are marginalized,
and love themselves for who they are. Sex education teaches students to build healthy self-esteem and body confidence, normalizes the full spectrum of gender identity and sexual orientation, encourages mutual respectful and equitable relationships based on empathy and open communication, teaches personal safety, including how to respond to bullying and harassment, and ultimately promotes tolerance. These life skills act as protective factors against depression and suicide. Sex education is high-quality teaching and learning about a broad variety of topics related to sex and sexuality. It explores values and beliefs about those topics and helps people gain the skills that are needed to navigate relationships with self, partners, and community, and manages one's own sexual health. Sex education may take place in schools, at home, in community settings, or online.
How does sex education prevent sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases are one of the world's most important public health challenges, affecting both developed and developing countries. Drago and others in 2016 believed that by raising knowledge of these issues, beginning in elementary school, young people will be able to recognize the appropriate behaviors to adopt in order to live a healthier life in the best interest of themselves and society as a whole. Because of the numerous benefits that sex education provides to youth, it should be incorporated in schools. The introduction of sex education in schools will provide teenagers with the necessary information to make informed decisions in life. Cantor and others in 2021 stated that it is critical to broaden the scope of comprehensive sex education beyond pregnancy and STD prevention to include promoting respect for people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, the ability to successfully navigate sexual content, and children's and adolescents' empowerment to address sexual abuse.
By promoting sexual consent, encouraging bystander interventions, and teaching sexual refusal skills, comprehensive sex education can help to avoid sexual assault, perpetration, and victimization. These lessons have the ability to protect young people from danger while they are in school and throughout their lives, as well as support the formation of healthy relationships. According to numerous research findings, sex education is beneficial in lowering teen pregnancy rates, delivering accurate information, and lowering the number of HIV, AIDS, and STD cases among teenagers. Macbol and John in 2019 stated, as a result, sex education promotes healthy adolescent sexuality. On the other hand, there should be action taken in the area of sex education in order to reduce the incidence of STDs and other infectious diseases. According to Alford in 2008, program planners should look to the body of existing evaluation and research to identify successful initiatives to help young people lower the risk of pregnancy and STIs, including HIV.
Comprehensive sex education includes a variety of contraception, preventative measures to avoid STDs and unwanted pregnancies, as well as the necessity of safe sexual behavior, Color and others in 2008 specified. It looks into adolescent perceptions of the costs and benefits of engaging in these behaviors, as well as their assessment of their sensitivity to consequences of their actions and the impact of familial, peer, and dyadic variables on their reproductive decisions. Finally, we put together this research to evaluate sexuality education's efficacy. It will cover the implications of early sexual participation, as well as the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. This is Group 4 researchers of STEM 7A, spreading pieces of information about how our topic would cause a huge impact in making a change for the betterment of the individuals.
Thank you for watching.